Hello, hello. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm Farmer Bigsy and welcome back to episode 7 of my challenge series on Mars the Mission. Last episode, we seeded. We seeded everything. Everything now has seeds. Before I get to this little ramp that's going to throw me all over the place, let me just pull this up real quick. Yeah, so we have everything seeded. We already had seeds for wheat down in the lower strip in the upper cube and the chicken dome, so that remained the same. But we also got oat down in the middle strip and the lower cube. We then got sunflowers down in the upper strip and the 2 lower boxes. And then we finally got grass in on the 3 animal domes there. So we are all seeded. Additionally, we also went around and we got everything rolled up. So all the fields are properly growing, they're properly ready, and we are now just essentially waiting on those to grow. But actually, I shouldn't say they're all ready to go, and we're just waiting on them to grow, because we did not fertilize yet. We have not yet fertilized our new fields that have sunflowers, oats, and grass. I'm not sure if I need to spray the grass with fertilizer. We'll check that real quick. But that's what we're going to be doing this episode. This episode, we are spraying. We're going to spray. Take a quick stop right here real quick. Ooh, there we go. Growth stage 4, narrow tires only. Okay. Progress is being made. And then we have oats down here, 2 of 4, alt tires. So I'm assuming next month, next growth stage, this will also be narrows only. Let's head over, hook up to our fertilizing sprayers, and let's see what the animal domes look like with grass. But yeah, we are now in April, and although things have been going well and a little slow, we're making progress. We're making progress towards being able to harvest our first crops and see how well things are going. See how well things are going there. If memory serves me, that should be empty. Yep, that is empty. I want to get this shed open. Yeah, I want to get this shed open. We're going to curl around back in. We're going to get hooked up with fertilizer. Do I have any liquid fertilizer hanging out? Yes, I do. Right there. Okay, let's get that filled up. If I need... Ooh, okay, never mind. I do not need any more fertilizer. That is perfect. Okay, so if anything, what I'll do is I'll head over to the animal dome first, and I'll get those sprayed up, if they need it. Ooh, avoid that post. Yeah, either of these 2 domes will be good. Okay, so let's see. How is this grass looking? 2 of 3. Nitrogen looks good. One thing I wish was a little different with precision farming. I wish, and I don't know if it probably, and it might just make better sense this way, is that when you look at these fields, sometimes you get an impression that yellow and oranges and the reds aren't good when, even if this was down, oh, that's not even the right menu. Perfect. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Seeing that our nitrogen is 0 or 20 or 40 gives us the reds and darker oranges. That makes us feel like our fields are not good enough with nitrogen. However, we can see that this entire field is good or okay. Maybe I'll give it one quick spray. Even though like 0 is okay. Maybe if I can get it to perfect. And that won't even be a lot of spraying. I can increase my expected yield. I'm already expecting 95, so I can bump up another 5%. And that just gets me another total acreage. I wonder what that means. 19.7 TO/HA. What measurement would 19.7 be measuring? So let's get this unfolded. Is that already unfolded somehow? Let's get this unfolded. Let's pull in here. And then let's quickly get this sprayed. Hopefully, as always, we don't use too much product spraying down fertilizer on these fields. And we can see that we're going to gain 35 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. Yeah, see, and it's just changing to orange, so we're not spraying much. We are drip dropping this fertilizer down, and hopefully I'll be able to get all 3 of these animal domes that need fertilizing good to go with what's in the tank here. After that, we will head over to our actual crop fields. We'll start with the smaller ones that have sunflowers down in the boxes. Ooh. Okay. Let's make some wider turns here, Z. But yeah, like I was saying, we will start at the lower 2 boxes that have sunflowers in them. And we'll kind of use that as a measurement, especially after we go around spraying. I'm not sure how much fertilizer we're going to have left in this tank, and I'm just starting to think this is a pretty wide spray, 24 meters, and I'm going to struggle to get it by here. Okay, so that is not the way I'll be going. Let's see, how can I do this? How can I? Probably should have approached that backwards. These are the issues you run in when you are trying to squeeze every acre out. Okay, so we'll spray that backwards. And then, oh, no, forward now. Forward. Come on. I'm hooked on something. Let me see if the good old folded up trick. Come on, let go of me. There we go. So let's be careful of that moving forward. But hopefully I can reattack that side. Okay, so get that all sprayed up. Let's shoot down the middle here. Hopefully that's also at least 24 meters wide. Yeah, we're spraying down fertilizer. I will go and I'll get all these animal domes wrapped up spraying. I should still have plenty of fertilizer left in the tank once that is complete. And I will be back with you guys very shortly. Whew, okay, so we have 3 of the animal domes pretty much complete. While I was spraying, I did run into I don't want to call it a major issue, but definitely an issue that needed some resolving. So I am attached to a 24-meter sprayer, and yeah, some of these animal domes do not have 24 meters to pass by. This was something that was a complete, I don't want to say a surprise, but definitely something that I overlooked when I was planting, seeding, mowing, or not mowing, plowing, is that there's not a lot of room to operate in some of these domes. Hopefully, I don't need to do this every month because this might become quite tedious. But what I've decided to do, at least for now, is to try my best and to make it work. So I've decided to drop off my additional tank attachment that hooks up to my front 3-point hooks, my 3-point attacher. And then essentially I want to back in as close to the dome as I can. And once that's all open and unfolded, kind of put my butt up against here. Oh, see, there goes one janky arm. Spray down. Ooh, wrong way. Move forward. Catch as much as I can. Turn off the sprayer. Fold it up. And just shimmy over ever so slightly to the other side to to grab the small little piece that I've missed. Ooh, there's not a lot of room in here, period. At first, when I was doing the pig dome on the far south, I thought, it's kind of annoying, but it won't really be something I run into a ton. Then I got to the sheep dome, and I was like, ooh, there's a good amount of room, some different corners, some different issues I have to deal with. But I'm confident chickens are always on my mind. But I went to the cow dome, which I am in now. Oh, no, I need to go forward. Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. So I got to the cow dome, and I was like, ooh, there's some large, big ol' area for me to do my spraying thing in here. And then once again, I was like, oh, these passages are the most narrow. So I had different issues in every dome. Started dropping off my additional tank and just trying to make it work. Which kind of brought me to a little bit of a realization. Typically when I play the game, I like going big. I like big field, big implements, and just creating a lot of stuff. It kind of reminded me that there are a lot of different ways that somebody could play this game. And this challenge here on Mars the Mission kind of brings me out of the way I would typically be playing. But that makes me want to ask you guys a question. How do you either typically like playing the game, or how do you enjoy playing the game the most? There's a lot of different things that you can do here in a farming simulator. Well, like I said, some people like to go big, where they have large implements, large fields, large tractors on a big open map. Some people like to go the route of like a more so a European map, where they have tighter fields with hedges, fences, things like that. A lot smaller, much smaller roads. You could even go into the animal route, where you have animals you have to deal with, get the food for the animals. I've done most of the animals except for horses. I've never done horses, and I don't really do all seeds. Oh, sorry, not all seeds. All tires still good. I'm gonna have to make sure I double check this every time. I would hate to run over some valuable crop. But sunflowers, so this will be good, and then the lower 2 boxes will also be good. But yeah, so I think cows are pretty straightforward, and a lot of people typically do those. Then there are, and let's see how much fertilizer we get using here. Oh, this actually doesn't need a ton. That's, once again, I am happy with it. But then after cows, there's chickens, and people could probably argue that chickens are the easiest and normally the first animal that people might dive into. They only need grain, realistically just wheat, and they'll produce a very simple product and no byproducts that you have to deal with. So chickens are pretty straightforward. Sheep are also pretty good, pretty easy. You need hay, so a little bit more work. A few more implements needed to produce the hay. You'll need to at least head the hay, and then you'll need to additionally maybe even windrow it back together for a little bit of convenience if you wanted. Now, the 2 animals that I've never gotten into, I might have done pigs once before, but those are pigs. Pigs need a different food that I don't really ever get. You know what? Let's take a look at that real quick. Pigs, animals, pigs. So they eat corn, wheat, barley, canola, sunflower, soybeans, potatoes, sorghum, and sugar beets. Oof. Now I know that sometimes there's an ideal combination, or there's other foods that or there's certain types of foods that they are more efficient on, and they'll produce more, or they'll grow more, they'll be healthier on. But either way, whatever the pigs need, I typically don't do pigs. And then last, kind of like a specialty animal, I would almost consider them to be, is horses. I don't know much about horses, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it here. But they definitely do need something a bit more special for their feed. And then I think you have to ride them or something. You have to exercise them for the animals to become good animals. So this challenge allows me to kind of break into at least one new animal. But there's tons of ways you can play Farming Simulator. Some people like to go the production route, and you can make all type of in-game kind of base level productions. And obviously there's a ton of mods that you can download, you can use to get different things, whether they be wood items. Oh, and that, yeah, like there's the forestry side of things. With the new Platinum DLC, there is mining, I believe. I don't know what else the Platinum DLC has beyond mining, and some other like there's root crops and other crops. But in terms of gameplay additions, mining is something else you can do, and I've never done in this game. But yeah, there's production. There's a whole list of production, whether they be Platinum DLC or whether they be additional mods. I know you can even make oil on this game, and there's a pretty cool map that allows you to do that in an interesting way. But yeah, with all that being said, there's a ton of ways to play FS22. Which way do you enjoy playing Farming Simulator? Let me know in the comment section down below. The way I'm playing now is typically kind of the way I do enjoy. Somewhat of a goal in mind. I'm not just building, and you could almost make this like a ranch building simulator if you wanted to, and you can just spend as much time and as much money as you want just building kind of dream ranch setups with the landscape tool. But yeah, let me know how you like playing, or how you tend to play more often. I'm gonna get these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more fields do I gotta spray? Upper strip, middle strip, lower cube, and the 2 boxes. So yeah, I'll get these 5 fields all sprayed up, all at the perfect level of nitrogen. As always, hopefully we do not need a ton of product to be sprayed down, but I will see you guys one way or another in a bit. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, and we are finishing up the last of our spraying for now. The last of our fertilizing spraying. So, if I take a quick jump to this menu while I finish up that line, we can see that everything is all pH balanced, nice and tight. And then our nitrogen is wrapping up as well. Everything is supposed to be where they are supposed to be. Although everything doesn't look dark green, we know that you do not need to have 222 kilograms per hectare for each of our fields. I was actually pretty happy because while I was spraying the fertilizer on the sunflowers in the upper strip, you can see that this upper strip has some darker areas, and that is kind of because they have not necessarily a high seed rate, but they have loamy sand. They have loamy sand in those slices, and loamy sand in conjunction with sunflowers doesn't require a lot of fertilizing. I think it's relatively safe to say that the higher the seed rate, the lower the needed fertilizer, and then the reverse would be true. For the lower the seed rate, the higher your fertilizer would need to be. I don't know if anything actually requires an 8. I don't think I've ever seen an 8. Like, that is 7. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything need an 8. So that's good. And hopefully maybe potatoes down the road, but hopefully nothing ever comes down to needing an 8, because once again, it's just going to eat up into my product. Now, although you do need to spray more fertilizer on your crops, it does kind of mean that you are more likely also expected to get a higher yield come harvest. If I shoot to the northeast corner of this upper box, don't even probably have to go that far, but I can see that 123% expected yield. Now as I cross, and there it goes, as I cross into whatever type of dirt this is. Oh yeah. Oh wait, silty clay. Silty clay is most likely going to give you maybe the lowest of the lowest yield percentage of your possible soil types. Let's see if I can find. Okay, so this cube has all of them. So let's start over to the, man, what field was that? This field over here. It's probably drive my tractor, but it's all good. I'll give Farmer Z's legs a little stretch. So as we sprint over at a normal sprint rate, not anything exceptional, we start on this field, and oh, it even says the soil type down below. So silty clay. That's going to give us a 90% field yield with everything done, which is kind of upsetting. Now, once you get into the loam, this grayer area, we will have a 123% expected yield. Now, crossing into there we go, loamy sand, we're expecting roughly 100. And then where is, yeah, let's head this way. And then loamy sand and sandy loam are both 100. Now, I don't know if that applies to as like a standard across all different types of crop. So it's like, does the wheat react and expect the same yields? Let's run over, cross this field. Let's run over to our newly planted, our newly seeded oats. Did I just check oats? Yeah, no. This upper box, that would have been wheat. So let's run over to our newly planted oats and see what that turns into, because loamy sand, loamy sand is 80 for oats. This is going to make sandy loam is 100 this time, okay. Now if we keep heading straight, we'll get into the loam. That is 125, and I feel like loam as a standard is a higher yield for essentially all of the crops. And then once we get into the silty clay, that was the lowest. That was 80 or 90% silty clay, and here it is, yeah, 90% again. So as we really dive deep into some of these precision farming metrics and stats and everything like that, it might be worth thinking about what to plant into which fields depending on if those fields are more or less of one specific type of soil. Now, since I am going to run back to my tractor, I might as well stop in here real quick and see how my greenhouses are doing. Greenhouses are good. Water is good in all three of them. If water is good in one, water should be good in all three. I know one of these productions take twice as much water as another or as the others, but I believe that higher water demand production also has less cycles. So once again, I do believe it all balances out. And although there is a little bit of min-maxing you can do with precision farming and the different types of soil type and which seed goes in there, I want to say it all kind of balances out. Hopefully. Ooh. Nitrogen, okay. Oh, that's just the edge. Yeah, for some reason the edges always seem to get a little bit more nitrogen. Like if I go over to this menu and I shoot over to my nitrogen, you can see that these corners, for whatever reason, have like a nice light or dark vivid green around them. And then you can even see on this lower field that I just did. It's nothing different that I did approaching any of those fields in how I spray down fertilizer. But it just kind of chooses to get a little extra. Maybe it's sucking up some of the Martian soil on some of these passes in between. But yes, we are all done fertilizing. We're going to head over to where's the ramp? There we go. We're going to head over to our fertilizer storage bin. And we're going to just unload this 163 liters of fertilizer we have in our front additional tank there. And we're going to make room. Do I actually need to do this? No, because the only thing I'm ever going to put in that front place is liquid fertilizer. Let's not hit any of these posts. Perfect. So yeah, I'm actually going to leave that small amount of liquid fertilizer in there. I am going to push this all the way down in there. Let's lower that, drop that, and back out. Perfect. So we are empty. We have 0 liters of anything in this rear spreader. Now I want to fill it up with, where did I leave that? Where did I leave my herbicide? Because I do want to fill it up with herbicide. And since we have a good bit of daylight, a good amount of the day left here in April, I want to see, and it definitely shouldn't take anywhere near as much time as fertilizing the actual fields, but I do want to get my herbicide spray down on all my fields. Now with precision farming, at least from what I have noticed, is that, like I've tried to explain before, and I probably won't necessarily show you guys in this episode because there aren't... Now, how much fertilizer is in here? There aren't weeds down or anything like that. It's perfect. So that's still full. Is that herbicide? Liquid fertilizer. Oh, that's liquid fertilizer. Liquid. Do I have herbicide anywhere on the map? No. Okay. Well, in that case, that changes that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to inhale all of this liquid fertilizer. And I'm just going to shuttle it over to... Oh, and of course I dropped off the front. Of course. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will get this liquid fertilizer here out of the way. Is there any way that's more efficient for me to do this right now? I don't think so. So I'm going to carry over this 1200 liters. I'll then hook back up to my additional tank, absorb the other 800 liters that's sitting there, and then I will probably just quickly sleep through the month of April. The only thing I had to do here in April was hopefully to spray. Now it is kind of a time wasted, but realistically my month of May didn't have anything, and I wanted to get this all wrapped up because as I was fertilizing all of these fields, I took a quick look at the projected forecast. April, sunny. Sunny, sunny, sunny all throughout the day. May and June, we are expecting rain. Now, although that isn't a big issue, at least I don't think it will be a big issue, we don't have much to do. Am I forgetting something? I don't think we have much to do until harvest. Essentially, right now, we're just maintaining the greenhouses, which have a ton of water. There's no extra lime that needs to be produced. The fields have been planted or seeded, rolled, fertilized, and limed. So our fields should all still be perfectly topped up. So let's just... Ooh, don't bump it. There we go. So yeah, everything is pretty much good to go. And if I look at this calendar, the next thing we're expecting to do is to harvest wheat, maybe in July, but probably in August. What else is available? Potatoes, sorghum. Yeah, so that's the... Wait, oats. Oats in July or August. So I actually might be able to harvest my oats before anything. But once again, that would be in July. But what I would most likely do, and what I'm most likely going to be doing, is sleeping after I drop this off. I'm going to sleep, wake up in April, spray down my herbicide, and I'll show you guys how I do that shortly. Go back to bed, wake up, and I'm fingers crossed, hoping to the harvesting gods to be able to get my oats and maybe some wheat harvested in the month of July. I put oats down as early as they could have been put down. So I'm hoping that on the flip side, and I'm pretty sure this is how it normally works, I'm hoping to... There we go. Unload this front side. I'm hoping to also be able to pick it up as soon as possible. Can I unload like I did from the front tank? No. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so I want to line this up. I know they're going to shoot out, I think, the left side. So I just want to shoot out those jugs. Nope. Nope. G. Nope. One more time. Of course. Goes to the other side. I know my seeds shot out of my Case Concord harvester from the left side, and I was hoping that would be a standard. We're just gonna nudge this little guy all the way home. Hopefully he gets the message. He did not get the message. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll absorb that 800 liters into the additional front tank, because I know it can hold it. Oh, 1200 liters, yeah. The 800 went... Where did that 800 go? Could have sworn... Oh, come on. And now you're not giving... What is going on right now? 800, sorry, 1200 in the front, and 0 in the back. Why is this all of a sudden not wanting to cooperate? I drove up just like this, and I got my... Oh, come on. Okay, that doesn't matter. Like I was doing the first time, I'm never going to need to have both my sprayer tank and my additional tank with herbicide. I typically stay on top of all my weeds, so just like I had stuff in it to begin with, I'm good to keep stuff in it now. I'm going to drop this here. I'm going to head up to my cabin, to my little fancy space trailer, and I'm going to sleep the day away. I wonder what farmers do in real life when 2 o'clock in the afternoon rolls around and they have nothing to do. I've always known, or I've always heard, that those farmers are always pretty busy. Waking up super early, going to bed super late. But if you've done everything you've needed to done everything you needed to do, it's just sleep time, rest time. You can put your feet up. I guess if you had cattle and all sorts of things take a very long time to do in the real world. But yeah, so I'm gonna zip over to my cabin, go to bed, wake up. You'll probably catch me reconnecting. Oh yeah, I need to buy. I think I can auto set my cruise control on this. Oh, this is dangerous. At least I can... Oh, I can't see myself anymore. Let's buy 1 tank of that. Perfect. Cool. So like I said, I'm going to flash over to my trailer, and you will see me in the morning of May picking up the herbicide that would have been delivered over the month. I'll be right back. Okay, and we are back. Month of May. Now this time, and I can see it already, but yes, perfect. This is herbicide. Typically when I do buy my herbicide and liquid fertilizer, I keep the blue with the blue. I keep my liquid fertilizer, this Corteva brand, and then I typically go ahead and I grab the Helm brand of herbicide, just so it's a little easier for me to spot at a distance. So I was kind of thrown off when I did see Helm fertilizer. No rhyme or reason. Well, there is a rhyme. No, I guess no rhyme, but there is a reason. And I need to pick that up. Where am I going? Slow down, Z. Slow down. But, yeah, that is the reason. There is no rhyme. I know there's not going to be enough space in this, but that should be plenty. And first thing I want to do, actually, is I just want to double check to make sure that no weeds actually popped up. Doesn't really matter too much. It's not going to make too much of a difference. But I do want to see... Yeah. No weeds anywhere to be seen. And then just to double check, we'll go to this map, zoom all the way out, and show me weeds. Yeah, perfect. No weeds anywhere to be seen. So what I'm going to do, and how I always do my fertilizing, not fertilizing, my herbicide spraying, my weed control, is when you have no weeds and you need to get a perfect weed score for precision farming. Almost there. I passed it. Yeah, should be in this menu. Also got to be careful because I know my oat can get crushed. And I believe, yeah, everything else can also be crushed. Let me just run over to my sunflowers, double check those since I'm up and about already. Ooh. Ah, 3 of 7. Okay, cool. So that has several more growth stages to go through. But the majority of my fields, all wheat. I actually don't know if I'll be able to do this in the animal dome since there isn't enough room. But the way I do all of my weed spraying, when I don't have any weeds, but I still want to get my perfect weed score, is I just spray the outsides of my fields. We'll pull up beside it. I'll jump back into this precision farming map menu. So we can see that the weed control is the third, it's the middle bar there. And it's 0 or half. It's the standard default, got into the game and did nothing percentage. So what I do is I turn the sprayer on, and since we have weed spot spraying enabled, purchased, and going here, you can see that nothing is actually being sprayed. But, and I hope this works because it typically works. There we go, I can see it's working already. Boom. Weed spot or weed control is now all maxed out. And it's all maxed out around all of my fields, which typically it just happens around the one field. So if I'm spraying field 9, technically over here, it would just happen to field 9. And then the same would happen to field 12 once I actually got to field 12. But once again, this all being one big old map, one big old plot of area, it does kind of treat things a little differently. But what I am going to do is I am just going to simulate spraying the edges. The reason I do this is because A, it saves me a lot of time, especially when there are no weeds already in my field to be sprayed. And it kind of acts, as I'm air quoting, as like a ring of protection. So if you imagine my field being to the right hand side of my tractor right now, that is what I want to protect. That is what I want to make sure weeds from the left hand side, the uncontrolled area. I don't know how the weed pollen or the weed seeds would blow into my field, but I just do this. You can technically just stop now, but I'm going to go around and cover all my fields. I don't think I'll be able to fit this into my chicken dome that also has wheat, but I will give it a test, and I might just stick my boom in from the door and tap that twice to make sure I am getting as much of it as I can. But yeah, I'm going to get this done, and I will be back in a flash. Okay, so we are back, and we are essentially done. Let me show you two things that happened. I guess, yeah, two things that happened. First off, this is the route I went. Started up here, top left corner of the upper strip. Went across the upper strip, down this side, down the bottom of the lower strip, carried on past, and I had to close my implement to get past this trailer that was here. Then shot down the far left side of all the fields, came around here, boom, up, cross here, turned around, back down. Mind you, this area was, my implement was turned off for that, so came back around, and I was doing this field when I noticed something, which I'll show you guys in a second. I then went up this side, came back here, turned off my implement, closed it to get past this trailer once again, then went up this field for the first time, finished, came back down, went across this inner alley, back down across this inner alley, skipped that alley that I would have passed a few times by now, came down, and now I am here. I guess I technically haven't sprayed this area yet, but I would have naturally, normally. So one of the first things I noticed was that this happens. Although there is lime, and although my sprayer isn't technically spraying anything, the lime is disappearing. You can see on the left-hand side there at the bottom edge of our upper box, that lime white texture is going away. And this is kind of what I mean by, although the game knows you're not spraying anything, it still does detect that you are spraying. So, that happened. I sprayed, and now all of our fields have that perfectly simulated edge of protection. Now the other thing that happened. Typically, I do not play this game. I typically don't play this game with my cursor on, and I was meddling in OBS to figure out how to turn it back on. The software initially started that it was on, and I did turn it off. It was kind of annoying, and it was offset. So while I was spraying, while I was driving and spraying, if you maybe know where I'm going with this, I was doing a little bit of distracted driving near my oat field. Oat field? That's not oats. Yeah, that is oats. Is that oats? That should be oats. Yeah, near my oat fields, which has narrow only. And trust me, those are not narrows. So way down in the distance, you can probably get a little glimpse of it now. While I was distracted and driving, I veered, and I don't know why, you can see my tracks. I kind of veered right for some reason and damaged a bit of my crop. It's not too bad. Hopefully it's not a significant portion, but yeah, that happened. So those two things. I sprayed and I destroyed some crops. Either way, I didn't use a drop of herbicide, which is what I expected. And we are all done. Don't know how long that took me. I think roughly an hour and a half in game. Maybe 30, 45 minutes. I guess that would have been 30 minutes in real life with this 3x speed turned on. But either way, that is that, and we are done. We're done for the month of May. Next month, in the month of June, we have nothing. We have nothing. I mistakenly saw that orange area. Maybe I'll leave my cursor on from here on out. It's not that annoying. But either way, I mistook this harvest period in barley for what should have been October. So in the month of June, next month, we should have nothing. So unlike last time when I said the next time you'll probably see me is not the following month. I think that was February, and then I popped back up again in March and not in April, if memory serves me correctly. You truly won't see me until the month of July. There's nothing for me to do in June. Now, I will probably load back in, drive around, make sure that everything is good, make sure that the water in the greenhouses are all topped up. Maybe I'll check my grass fields. Let's scoot over there before we call this episode good. But, unless I'm mowing, and I may mow, but unless I'm mowing in June, you won't see me until July, when we will get our first harvests down. We will start to see how far in this challenge we're actually coming. Okay, so grass. Grass is 3 of 3. ready to harvest. So I do believe there is a +1. Like I think 3 of 3 is the growth stage, and then there is a one more. But either way, I guess I am a double liar. I lied the first time when I said you wouldn't see me, and initially I am lying again now. So you will see me in the month of June. In the month of June, we will get our grass mowed, our bales all baled up. I gotta figure out how much of that I want to turn into hay for potential sheep. I gotta figure out how much of that I want to start getting wrapped up in bales and made into silage. We should have a tedder. I'm pretty confident I bought one during our initial equipment setup. Let's see. What is behind door C? Perfect. Yeah, so we do have a tedder. So I might ted 1 dome's worth of grass. But that is all for now. As always, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. Please consider giving this channel and this video a like, a subscribe, and if there's anything you want to see in future episodes, if there's any questions, comments, or concerns you may have, leave them in the description down below. This has been episode 6. Episode 6? Maybe 7? But either way, this has been a episode of my challenge series on Mars the Mission. I'm Farmer Big Z. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you all in the next episode.